the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Foo.
I saw some footage of like some panda in a like a zoo, and it's like rolling around, like a tumbleweed, And someone had wrote a caption like, "How the fuck did these animals survive in the wild? They're so stupid."
I think I saw that thing. That was funny.
It was just tumbling around, and it's like what? Yeah,
they're not the brightest. Like, it's no wonder they're almost extinct.
Yeah, you guys look dumb.
All they eat's bamboo, and they roll around like a fucking furry rock.
Yeah,
like what?
Like I thought that was just
no animal that cute can like survive in survival of the fittest. You know what I mean? Like no animal that lives in the wild that only eats bamboo and rolls around like that will survive in survival of the fittest mode. Like,
although I'd like to, I mean, they're a bear, right?
Yeah.
So I would love to see a panda just going ape shit. Just,
I mean, you just see those guys just hanging out and like chilling and like chewing on some bamboo and then fucking playing. You never see them in any kind of aggression whatsoever.
Right.
Ever.
Except for Tropic Thunder. But then that panda got dead.
Or
Ben Stiller killed that
Fu
panda and wore it like a hat. Wore its ass like a hat.
Or Kung Fu Panda, right?
Yeah, speaking of animals. So okay, wait. Yeah, I was waiting for we've got.
Stuck?
I'm trying to think whether or not we've got buffer from the shit.
Do you need a reboot?
Ready to go.
That was a quick reboot cycle.
Welcome to Sad Dads Club podcast.
We got Foo over there.
Jim over there. It's episode 180.
Wow.
And we're giving out hand jobs.
Oh, yeah. Free.
Follow us on Twitter.
Well, I might charge. But you can do it for free.
Hand jobs for cash. Oh, the Southpark.
I don't watch that show is polarizing to me.
Really?
Yeah, it does not appeal to me whatsoever. I mean, I have tried. I have watched it.
Yeah.
There is some bit about that show that just grates me the wrong way. And I have tried.
Really?
Almost everybody I know loves that show. And it's one of the ones I just can't do it. And I don't know if it's just the way, and I'm like, it grates me, man. It just drives me crazy.
You know what's fun? I don't
even
watch
the
it
intro
anymore.
music. I don't want to hear it.
I used to be like a diehard fan.
Yeah.
Saw the movie, watched the series.
They have a movie.
Yeah. Bigger, longer, uncut, or something like that. Absolutely. And I'll still, to this day, like throw out one-liners and quips and whatnot that are like quotes from the movie along the way.
Yeah.
Similar to what I would do for Beavis and Butthead probably a decade ago. Like they're still like one-liners like right?
Yeah.
Southpark. Somewhere in the last 10 years though, I dropped off the map for Southpark. Like every once in a while I'll catch like a special, but the humor to me almost seemed like it had run its course for me. And so I just stopped watching. Like, well, once you've seen the movie and the absolute like bleeding edge in which they'll go to, like the Comedy Central show is like, hey, you're never going to see Satan playing with a dildo on Comedy Central. It's just, you're not going to. So you like the shark got jumped right there. That's it. That's pinnacle. Now, are there topical political jokes to be made that every once in a while I'll catch and watch and be like, that was fantastic. Like I enjoy that. Yes, and I'll catch those. But for the most part, like whatever they're doing on Paramount Plus right now.
Yeah. I mean, even Beavis and Butthead, like it was cool for like 5 or 6 shows, and then like after that, it was I laughed myself into like just short of pissed pants so many times watching that show. Yeah.
In the 90s. Absolutely.
Well, I think we may have talked about this way early back in the old days of our show. But that Beavis and Butthead came out of a cartoon called Frog Baseball, which was on like the Spike and
Mike's,
yeah,
something,
yeah, like Sick and Twisted,
yes, festival,
comic festival or some shit like that.
Yep.
And it would just come into town and they would show a night of fucking just weird ass cartoons, and that was one of them, was Frog Baseball. So that's where it came from before it was ever on MTV.
Right.
And there was a whole lot of other just super sexually graphic cartoons that were in there. I don't know. Did you ever go to those?
God, I might have.
Yeah.
But the only thing that stuck out to me was Beavis and Butthead.
Okay. I mean, it was way cruder in that festival than it was when it was on MTV.
Oh, yeah. They polished some shit out.
But, like, after it got on MTV, I mean, it was funny for a bit, and then it just kind of lost its luster to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I never think some of it's funny.
Simpsons, missed that boat. Ren and Stimpy, missed that boat.
Now, see, Ren and Stimpy...
SpongeBob, missed that boat, don't care.
I like Ren and Stimpy, and I like SpongeBob, oddly.
King of the Hill, nope.
Yeah, that's all right. It's
like,
more...
And I'll do quips from, like, damn it, Bobby.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
There are... It's still Mike Judge, so there are quips and things, and propane,
right?
Shit like that, but...
We'll sell propane and propane accessories.
Right.
Yeah.
But I was never necessarily a fan of the show.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched it here and there, but none of those have really ever stuck. Simpsons was like a first few seasons kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of same.
Yeah, I mean, what's it been on, 30 years or some shit? Oh, let's talk about that for a second. I had this discussion with my son this afternoon.
Okay.
I'm an old fucking guy. I was born in 1971, and I never thought about this. Okay. Never thought about this one time until today. I was born in 1971. World War II ended in 1945. So if you do the math, that is only like 25 years.
Okay.
From the end of the World War II, which now seems like a really long time ago.
Yeah.
Until I was born.
Okay.
That to me just blew my mind. Thinking, I got to thinking about that, and I was like, well, 1945 was when it ended, and I was born in 1971. That's only like 25 or 26 years.
Yeah.
That is not that many years after that giant war, right?
Right.
That blew me away. Because, I don't know, I had CNN on, so I'm watching, like,
the Ukraine
stuff and which
the perceptive of age relative to a war was of that size, because we've obviously been through the Iraq war.
Yeah, I mean, the scale of World War II is vastly different from anything that we've seen since.
Right.
But it just blew my mind, like that. It wasn't that long.
Yeah.
I mean, in time scale wise, 26 years isn't that long.
Yeah.
You know, that just blows my mind.
There's a couple like I've almost been struck by in the amount of watching Band of Brothers and whatnot. Like, there's probably not, doesn't sound like to the caliber in which you're experiencing it, but you know, because I was born all the way in 75.
Oh, damn.
So
you're just a baby.
I've never really given that much perspective. But when I think about, it was like the cartoons that are starting to like resurgence. Beavis and Butthead apparently is coming out and whatnot. Yeah, like an adult version. Someone was Wasn't
it already kind of
these random alerts of musical albums that came out that are now on like 20-year anniversaries, and I went, I listened. Oh boy, okay.
Well,
I'm old.
I mean, I went to the 20 or 25th, I think it was the 25th anniversary of the Helmet Betty album.
Okay.
I went and saw Helmet play their 25th anniversary of the Helmet. It was the tour specifically to support the 25th anniversary of the release of that album.
Okay.
And so they did a date downtown, and I went to that show, And this now was probably 5 years ago. You know what I mean? And that kind of like now that I'm like 50,
Yeah.
Like some of that stuff is sort of striking me like, damn.
Well,
the stuff I listened to is
what
old.
it was watching Dave Grohl on Hot Ones.
Oh, yes.
And he looked old.
Yeah.
And I went,
and you watch him like play drums for Nirvana, and he's just a little baby face guy.
Right. And I went, oh, fuck. He's me. I'm him. We're old.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Well, and he's older than both of us, I'm pretty sure. He's in his mid-50s.
Is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, he's old then. Fuck that guy.
That guy, I have a man crush on that guy.
He's cool.
He's a cool dude.
You watched that Hot Ones episode then?
Oh,
you were the one that recommended us.
Yeah.
Like Sean
he's
getting completely
boss.
tanked.
Oh, yeah. What blew me away, though, is how well he handled. He didn't not one time complain about the heat. Spoiler alert. He doesn't complain one time about any of the hot sauce's heat. And in fact, he gets to the end. Spoiler alert. He gets to the end and he has the last dab and he eats it and he goes, I have a confession to make. And of course, they sing the song.
I got a confession.
Yeah. And then he says, after rehearsal, I come home and I drink a couple beers and then I have a teaspoon of that. And
yeah.
He's like eating that shit right out of the bottle. And it's like nothing. Yeah. He doesn't get red-faced. He doesn't sweat. He doesn't hiccup. None of that stuff.
Yeah.
He doesn't go, oh, my God, and then drool or anything.
And he's drinking what's essentially look like rum and cokes for the better part with Sean. And Sean's tossed by the end. And he's getting ha-ha'd.
Right.
But he is nowhere toasted as Sean was by the end. It was funny as fuck. Yeah. I enjoyed that episode. And I've missed a bunch. Like I missed the Tom Holland one, the Sebastian Stan, so your Spider-Man and Winter Soldier guys when they did it. But I caught that one because you said check it out, so I'm like,
dude,
I like me some Foo Fighters.
Yeah, I mean he's as far as I'm concerned, like as a dude, just a dude, he's the kind of dude you could just hang out with.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And not to mention how musically talented he is for a dude that just came out of like punk rock stuff. You know what I mean? So that's kind of crazy. And he is just as much a fan of stuff of that kind of music as I was.
Yeah.
Because there are stories about him where he wrote like a letter to Ian MacKay or Mackay, I don't know how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Of Minor Threat and Fugazi. That's that Ian.
Yes.
And he also is the owner of Discord Records. So he like wrote him a letter way back in the day. It's like, yeah, that's the kind of shit that I would have done too.
Yeah.
Way back then. That's it's crazy.
He seemed like one of those genuine, wholesome, rich,
down to
famous
earth
guys.
Yeah. Down to earth, just has a bunch of money and plays big stadiums full of people.
When he talked about his like album process, he strikes me a lot like Billy Corgan. Like he'll write an entire song with multiple instruments, but then has the band either critique what he had written. And then they'll play it, but he can, for the most part, play all the spots in the band, but then everyone else puts their professional twisties.
I don't know if you've heard it or if you are aware of it, but Dave Grohl released a song called Play, and it was a music video in addition to a single. And it's like a 20-something minute track.
Oh, yes.
And he recorded every single instrument on the track.
It's like it keeps going in a circle? Wait.
No,
it was recent the last couple of years?
It's just an instrumental track. Yeah, it was a couple years ago.
That's okay.
And he started out with the drums, and he played the whole... and if he ever screwed up, he started over and did that track over until he got it right.
Okay.
Then he went to bass, and he played the bass all the way through.
That's right.
And then he did guitar and all the other bullshit. So all of the tracks he recorded himself in succession to make, and that track is incredibly good. It's long, but it's really, really good.
Yeah.
Now, if you go back to the original the first self-titled Foo Fighters album. And that album was recorded by Dave Grohl in some studio time that he did on his own.
Mm-hmm.
And he wrote and recorded all of those songs as like a demo tape.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't even have a band. And he kind of put this together and then started looking for dudes.
Like studio musicians to play the parts?
I guess. But what happened was he was shopping around the tape and they decided that the tape was good enough. They just sort of like kind of remixed it a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And the original Foo Fighters self-titled album is all of the stuff that he recorded on his own.
Oh.
Drums, guitar, bass, vocals is all Dave Grohl. That whole album was his recordings.
Huh.
That got released. So what ended up happening is they ended up touring. So he had to find musicians to go tour.
Yeah.
But he was the only musician
that was on the album.
That is actually on the album. He recorded all the stuff on his own. Which just, like, you think about that. That album is fucking gold.
Yeah.
That album is top notch.
It was, I hadn't heard someone do that since it was probably well after I was no longer listening to Smashing Pumpkins and Corgan. Like, I knew after, what was it, Siamese Dream or something.
Yeah.
And then the band broke up. And there was like news about like how involved he was in the project, and it was he would write, Corgan would write all of it,
right.
same scenario,
yeah,
write all of it, play most of it, and then the band would come in, and they would all play the part, but he had already done it,
yeah.
So it was like, play it like this,
yeah.
This is the song, and then when they would go on tour, they would all play, obviously.
Well, that was kind of one of the points of contention with early Foo Fighters was that Dave had this idea, from what I've seen or read or whatever. I forget exactly what my sources are on this one, but Dave he knew exactly what the track should sound like, or the thing that he's written should sound like.
Okay.
And they actually had a drummer do a bunch of stuff, and then Dave actually re-recorded all the drum bits. Because it wasn't what he wanted.
Right.
I mean, as a drummer, if you had that happening underneath you, that would really hurt. That would be tough to take.
Yeah.
Because you're supposed to be part of this band, but yet I guess the guy that hired you to be in the band is like, that's not good enough.
You just play what I play.
Now, it's gotten better now. I can't remember Steven, I can't remember what the drummer's name is.
I don't know.
Tyler. Anyway, he actually does record the drums now. But early on, it was like, yeah, you do whatever you think is best for the record, and I'll just play live because, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But the drummer, Taylor, I can't think of his name. I have to look it up. He actually drummed for Alanis Morissette.
Oh.
So that's where he came from. He actually left Alanis Morissette to come to the Foo Fighters.
She doesn't have a band anyway. She's just a vocalist lady.
No, she did. She actually had a band. That was her. He was the guy that, I don't know if he recorded all of her stuff, but he definitely toured with her.
Oh, okay. It's not like that other one. Evanescence, where there was an actual band, but everyone only knew the lead singing lady.
Oh, well, I mean, I think that happens a lot, right? In live.
Gloria Estefan and the Miami Sound Machine.
Taylor Hawkins is the drummer for the Foo Fighters, yeah. But he and I think the original drummer was like Bill Goldsmith or William Goldsmith. And he's the one I think was just like, I can't do it. I'm out. And then Taylor Hawkins got hired later.
Picked on.
Yeah, but it was like Dave Grohl it's all in his mind. He knows what it's supposed to sound like.
Right.
And so I would think that would be tough. I mean, it's Dave Grohl, you know?
Yeah.
So that's tough.
As long as you're setting the boundaries, like, here's what's going to happen.
Well, that's the thing is like,
I'm Dave Grohl.
No one knew what to expect. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Then you're going to have problems, right?
Yeah.
You don't set the tone, then you leave the variables open. Well, then people are going to start getting butthurt about.
And they from what I gather, they sort of learned on their, while they go, learned on the job kind of thing. But
bitches getting paid.
I think that stuff's fascinating. I love reading about that kind of stuff because I just think the world of someone like Dave Grohl. He's just awesome.
Yeah, I enjoy his music.
Yeah,
I don't know if there's a thing that he's produced that I didn't find some sort of entertainment in.
I mean, albums and
he
albums.
seems like a genuinely nice person.
Yeah.
So
albums and albums of music that are listened to by me all the time.
Oh yeah.
On rotation.
Repeat.
Well, not repeat, but I mean, I've got a lot of music on my phone that are just stuff that I've purchased over the years and stuff I've ripped. I mean, I've got a lot of Foo Fighters on my phone. There's maybe only 1 or 2 albums that are probably newer stuff that I don't have. But
yeah.
Yeah.
So I got one. We covered it on the side, but it's actually been 2 weeks. So how did you break booze to your kids? Did that happen passively and it just kind of all of a sudden meh, or did you introduce it to them to have a controlled environment?
I think Chandler is a lot like me. So I don't know if I've talked about this, but when I was younger, so this is how I'm going to lead up to this. When I was younger, like high school time, like everybody I knew was drinking or whatever, and I was a straight edge punk rock kid. So I didn't drink, I didn't smoke, I didn't do drugs, which leads into who I am today. So I didn't drink because it wasn't legal, right? Although everybody I knew did. But when I got to be 21, like that sort of phase had softened a bit. So it's like, okay, I'll have a beer here and there. I don't drink very much.
Wow.
Chandler has definitely sort of followed in those footsteps. He's had, much like me, relationships with people who have done a lot of this stuff or things that he doesn't agree with, that he's kind of broken that relationship off because he doesn't agree with it or doesn't want to be around it. So for him, it wasn't that big of a deal. So when it was 21 for him, sort of the same thing. I think he had some stuff here and there. But usually it was if we were around.
I think they went to the West House, didn't they? For his 21st birthday?
To the what?
I think he went to the West House.
Did he?
I think so.
I'm trying to remember.
I think he did.
He may have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Melanie, I mean, she's got an older brother that has been legal for a few years.
Yeah.
And we don't drink that much, but, we partake on occasion here and there.
Yeah.
So she would have partaken just because she's hanging out with us.
Right.
And most of that time has been the last couple of years with COVID and everyone being home. So it's like,
right.
We're home and, hey, I'm going to have a margarita. Do you want a margarita?
Right.
And she doesn't really seem to care much for it either.
Yeah.
There are many, I don't want to say many, many times, but there have been multiple times where you can make her a beverage and give it to her.
And wouldn't finish it?
And then later on you find it and the ice is melted and most of the drink's still there.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh,
right.
Either she didn't like it or she just didn't care to do it. So, I mean, I think and I hope that the thing that Shan and I are very conservative with, that also has been partaken with the kids.
Yeah.
So that is sort of how it's kind of happened for us.
Okay.
I don't think high school really affected either one of the kids, as far as I know, as far as alcohol and stuff.
Okay.
So
when my dad, my growing up, I was straight too, but I wasn't even punk. It was,
Yeah.
you know, I didn't really fuck around with anything.
You just didn't care to do it.
Yeah, it was
not your scene.
Right. I was an overachiever, academic, and I didn't do sports, so I had no reason to do anything else. I was just, and I was poor, so I didn't, you know.
Didn't have the money to go spend on it.
Couldn't buy it anywhere, and the group of people that I hung out were all wholesome, you know, salt of the earth, dirt, playing the dirt kind of kids.
I feel like that's the exception to to these days.
Maybe. So
I
it
mean,
wasn't
for you,
really
it was normal, though.
It wasn't even an interest. Now, on occasion, it's probably a good thing that like smoking never took hold.
Right.
I think smoking. We've talked about it. My dad did chewing tobacco. My aunts and uncles all smoked like chimneys, but again, even at the time and era, the cigarettes weren't prolific. There was no way to get around it if I did smoke because, you know, so on the occasion that I ran across a cigarette, it was so few and far between. One, didn't know the mechanics of how to smoke. Two, it tasted like asshole. And so it was a bad experience, and it was like, I don't want any part of it.
Yeah.
Now, beer, I would not be conservative to say that my mom was probably an alcoholic. There was Budweiser all the time in my household. So my parents would drink, not to the point of blackout drunk or anything.
Right.
But beer was common. But not, it was not my bag.
Yeah. Do you think part of that, just out of curiosity, do you think some of that for you is seeing that it was around a lot and like maybe your mom was affected by it so you didn't want to?
Could have been.
Do you think that affected your opinion
my
of
my mom's alcoholism probably was something much more later where I was already I'd already made my choice. Like beer doesn't taste appetizing.
You're not
to
a big
me.
beer guy anyway,
right?
Now.
And I just right. So there's probably some hindsight. Like maybe that was part of it.
Yeah.
But I didn't enjoy the taste anyway.
Yeah.
Somewhere after high school graduation, I think we were all in like our own apartments there up at Chico, and we were. Through my dad, he was like, "You guys, if you're gonna go and party up there at College Town, you know, stay home. If you guys want something, I'll go get it for you."
Yeah.
So my dad was aware that, you know, we were no longer at home, and it was probably the thing to do because, you know, he's lived through it himself. So,
right.
You know, but he was like, "Please stay home. Do this responsibly, and if you do it responsibly, I'll get you what you're looking for."
Yeah.
The joke was that he bought us the thrifty version of all the booze you could think of.
Right.
And it was the worst possible fucking garbage alcohol.
So
known to
even
man.
though you would have gotten your hands on it, it probably didn't taste the greatest.
It was.
So that doesn't.
He was
you.
teaching lessons.
Sure.
I fucking get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But he was doing it in a way that was like, do this here.
Yeah.
And just be careful.
Yeah.
And outside of New Year's, prior to being 21, you know, it wasn't really that. It was not a thing. We didn't have illegal booze in the house a year long. No one was spiking the Kool-Aid every day when we skateboarded to campus. It was just not a thing.
Sure.
It was like New Year's, and that's it.
Yeah.
And my dad would be like, "Don't go anywhere with this." And it was fine. Absolutely. 21, still not a thing. Like we, you know, I went across the country. I was working hard to get drunk or partake in any sort of illegal substances while I was earning the money I was earning, trying to pay off debts and whatnot. Was like, it's a non-starter.
Right.
Like this job is amazing. It is paying amazing. Let's not fuck this up. So
right.
I didn't have a lot of time to do any of that anyway. So I guess our alignments are pretty close. Like it's just not my bag.
You just had different reasons.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Different reasons.
Yeah.
So we've come across, Piper has started to get into the space where some of her friends also have parents. A lot like my father was like, if you want to have a party, you can do that, and we'll have some stuff here for you, but you don't get to leave the house. It's a stayover, and you guys need to watch what you're doing. Mm-hmm. And I have nothing but respect for that, because that's how we would do it here.
Sure.
And I've told Piper on a number of occasions, it's like, what? We're making drinks. You want to taste? Similar to Melly, like you could taste it, but she's never been given a drink.
Yeah.
But after this story of some of her friends' graduations coming up, she's a young lady. Venus and I took the opportunity to be like, okay, so we're going to make you some drinks, and in the house, you're not going anywhere, so that you understand or have a somewhat of a grasp that if you end up at one of these places where they're keeping you there, you, one, have an idea of what your tolerance is, what to be on the lookout for if someone abuses your beverage without you looking, so that you can either call for help or that you need to stay put and call for a ride if need be, so that you're safe.
I think the key there is to say something to the effect of, hey, look, if you're going to go out and you're going to partake in some of this stuff, just know that you can call us.
Right.
Like, I'm not going to judge you. I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be angry. Like, I would rather be safe and just be in my pajamas or whatever, and come pick you up and get you home safe and your friends. I'll deliver anybody home wherever they need to go.
I mean, my dad was the same way.
Yeah.
In fact, my dad told us to always keep a quarter. This is so archaic. But he told us to keep a quarter in our shoe, because at the time it was a payphone.
Yeah. Well, we used dimes.
Oh yeah. He's like, no matter where you are,
right,
you should always have a quarter on you so you can call me. No judge, no disappointment. Don't do anything stupid. I will come get you.
Yeah.
And we've essentially told that to the same.
Yeah.
Summarized.
Yep.
No one has pagers anymore, so and we've told that to Piper and Nick. Like, if you were ever anywhere where you don't feel comfortable, perhaps calling your parents, I will come and get you.
Yeah.
That's it.
If
I will come get you and keep you safe, and that's it.
An inkling of a question of whether or not you are not safe to drive, please call
me.
Yeah. I don't care. I will go get you. And I have done that.
Yeah.
I have had to do that before.
And if you get yourself an Uber and you don't want to go home, my door is always open. Our door is always open.
Yeah.
You can crash here until you're sober, and then we'll figure out, So we, on Saturday, I think it goes back 2 weeks at this point, we just did vodka stuff, because apparently that's the easy stuff that some of the other parents have been allowing their kids to have.
Sure.
So I made screwdrivers. Really, that was it, and of varying tolerances of vodka.
Mm-hmm.
It, like, amped it up, but her and Venus both started with half a shot ish.
Okay.
And Venus was my control. Like, if Venus starts doing my lips are numb, then I know that if I look at my daughter, she should be somewhere in the ballpark.
Right.
But my high metabolism, it's a toss-up. Like, this is a learning experience for me just as much as it's going to be for her.
Yeah.
Because she could have my metabolism and no trigger notification warnings that Venus has.
Yeah.
Venus knows when to start pulling plugs.
Well, we've never done it that scientifically. I mean, like I said, we've had situations where we're like, here, have a margarita or whatever. Do you want another one? We're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
And it seems like everybody is just fine with not drinking that much, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird to me, because the way I grew up, it was like all the kids were out getting hammered all the time.
Yeah.
And maybe because the cheap shit was beer, and I thought like Budweiser or Bud Light or Coors Light or whatever the cheap shit was gross. Like, I didn't want to drink that stuff.
I got nothing.
Yeah, I mean, my parents. I mean, don't get me wrong. My parents sat my brother and I down as it's like a fucking Saturday afternoon or some shit. Oh, you guys want a beer? Here.
Yeah.
And then my brother's like, cool, and I'm like, ew.
Yeah.
Pop a beer and like take a sip and be like, gross, a fucking Budweiser, and put it down on the counter and not touch it again.
I got nothing.
And then we also had the same thing. My mom was like, you guys want to have a party at the house?
Mm-hmm.
And my brother was always the guy going, oh, sure.
Let's do it.
Because he knew everybody at the school,
Yeah.
And so they did. They let us have a party, and my mom, like, screened everybody coming into the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And then everyone, all my friends slept at the house that night. And she got up the next morning and made everybody breakfast.
Yeah.
So it's like there was a little bit of that. My mom and dad were smokers. Well, we talked about this just recently.
Yeah.
Drinkers, smokers, blah, blah, blah. I mean, we had a dog named Mello and a cat named Puffy. Why do you think that is? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, that was around for me. It just never took hold for me to want to do it either. So, and I think some of that has, and I think Shanna, my wife, she wasn't as conservative as I was in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just say that.
Okay.
But has grown as an adult to be far more conservative in that regard. So it's like, she drinks too.
Yeah.
But she's way more chill about it now. It's not like she used to be when she was younger.
Mm-hmm.
And I think some of that value or whatever, like, it kind of got instilled in the kids, like, oh, we just don't touch that stuff, or I don't know, for whatever reason, they just haven't.
Yeah.
How did it work out? I mean, she
had roughly, in the end, like I said, I started to make
half a bottle.
Yeah, like the pint, and she was off killing whoever Eminem killed.
Oh, damn.
Put a fifth of vodka and dared her to drive, kind of thing.
Oh, shit.
She had about 3 shots over the course of like maybe an hour and 15.
Yeah.
I didn't want to put her over a toilet bowl.
No.
So I gave her enough to where I was like, well, I'm bored now. And she got a little, because she was like me and trying to like ask, like, what am I looking for? And I'm like, as you get more buzzed.
What am I looking for? Is like, what am I expecting to feel?
Right. Okay. And I'm like, it's hard to, how do you put intoxication into words?
Yeah.
I'm like, as you feel it
You'll
ramp
get
on,
dulled a little.
I said, things will feel rounded. Like your perception will kind of get rounded.
Yeah.
And then, things will slow down a little bit as far as like your,
And when you're looking around.
Right. And then once you pee, you'll have to keep peeing. And, there's all these things. And, somewhere about an hour in, Venus is like, she, at about 45 minutes, because she had the shot first, I think she peaked about 40 minutes in.
Uh-huh.
And even though I gave her another drink afterwards, she had already hit her peak. So about 45 minutes, we were talking about stuff in the kitchen, and I can't remember what we were talking about, but I think it was Star Wars, and she's, and I'm sorry, what?
Oh, wow.
And Venus laughed, and then she laughs, and I'm sending a text to Discord like, my daughter just slurred her first words. She's hammered. And then we spent the rest of the evening, like, I cut her off.
Yeah. So
she didn't get shit-faced,
yeah.
but she got probably a good buzz, and so she has an idea.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like she's asked for another night to go, So I would put her probably in the same thing. I gave her and Venus and I gave her a tool set to kind of keep an eye out of like really what's happened. And as much as I would like to say, like, it's to see whether or not she's like Venus and I, or you and your family. It's like kind of alcohol agnostic.
Yeah.
As a dad, my main concern really is for her to be safe, to make sure she has an understanding of if someone puts something in your drink, or someone's trying to, not necessarily her boyfriend, but if some asshole is trying to do something to anybody at one of these places, she will have a better awareness of a taste or a set of actions. Because, it's like Mike had said, as I made the screwdrivers pretty undistinguishable from having any alcohol in them at all to something that she could taste it in, the ability, as Mike had said, the ability to mask alcohol, and yet she started to get tipsy, is just as important, because just because you can't taste it,
right, or the worst would be having someone slip a Mickey in their drink, or
right. And some of the ciders that we've had here at the house, not like the Trulies or anything, although those are on deck. I think we've discussed like those would be something to have her try too, because those are another easy like can thing. But we've had some amazing like boutique cider variants that you would not know that they've got. I mean, they're really good.
Right.
Like, I'll pound those like I would pound a Rockstar or a can of Pepsi. And you have 3 of those, and I guarantee you Venus is lampshade on the head and numbed.
Yeah.
So it's a tool set for her as a woman to make sure that hopefully she doesn't get taken advantage of by an asshole, Is
it seem like it's sort of a difference in like our time versus the current time? It seems like partying was way bigger of a deal. Like, you could get away with partying. I mean, parties got broken up and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But it seems like it's way more strict nowadays. Like, if there's a party, it's gonna get broken up. It's just a matter of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
I could see that. Although from my place up in the country, I think I have probably a bubble experience with that. Like the kids at Bear River that lived in Lake of the Pines or right off, a dog bar or something that were a lot closer together, probably have a different party experience,
right,
than any of us that lived out there in off of McCourtney, because it was like, you're not having a party. It's not really going to get out of control because it's 30 minutes to get here anyway.
Right.
Whereas house parties probably happen.
Well, what's scary about up there is it's all 2-lane roads. So if you're drunk driving, you're going to end up off the road.
And that
somewhere.
happened.
Yeah.
That happened. There were a number of kids that got into trouble. We're out in the country and they're doing what country kids do. And then you get on 49.
Drive their pick-em-up truck right off the road.
Or into another pick-em-up truck.
Yeah.
And then game over. I mean, that happened, sadly.
Did I talk about this? So we had a guy who was a grade ahead of me named Damon, who was sort of like remember Movie Phone?
Yeah, German KSFM 102.5.
Yeah, so
press 1 for
yeah. So he was basically the movie phone of party. So he was like party phone.
Okay.
So he had his own phone line.
The
in
voice
his room.
Answering machine guy.
Yeah, so he had the answering machine, and he would change the outgoing message every weekend night, with directions onto all the parties that he knew about.
Okay.
And it just doesn't seem like that is a thing. Like, there are get-togethers and stuff like that, or hangouts, but it doesn't seem like there's. I mean, I didn't drink. I wasn't a drinker, but I would still enjoy go to parties and hanging out with people.
Yeah.
But I went to some raging parties that were there all night.
You know what? It's weird. I mean, I feel like fuddy-duddy. Like, I missed a lot of
the partying stuff
because I was just such a scholastic overachiever.
Whatever.
That it was just not my bag.
Yeah.
Like, when I was at Chico, it was computers and internet.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, the internet. This is fucking amazeballs. Like,
I'm war driving.
Yeah, what is this?
Give me that BBS number.
The whole thing about Chico and the party school and whatever accolade they won from fucking Playboy, I saw none of that until I was no longer at Chico and I was working, and a friend in my age group, his younger brother, started going to Chico, had a house, and then we would go up there to a house party. It wasn't until I was no longer at Chico State where I experienced a couple of these raging epic Chico parties.
Well, that's what's crazy was even in my years of high school, Chico was known as the party school.
Right. And I missed it.
Like, that's why people went to Chico.
Right.
Was because it was a party school.
I went there because it was the only college that accepted me. And I'm like, fuck, all right. The whole party school thing was completely unaware.
Oh, that's funny.
Completely unaware. Really great burritos, really great pizza, bombed out of school. Really great racquetball.
Maybe you would have been better off had you gone to some parties.
Probably.
Maybe you would have done better.
I enjoyed the ones I went to, but I was no longer in academia.
You were
I'm like, man, I'm glad I don't have to take a test tomorrow, but I do have to work a 10-hour shift at the PC store.
I mean, you were paying for the loans, just not benefiting from the loans.
Yeah. Great. This is fucking fantastic. Anyway.
Nice.
Show me the hot box. Where is the hot box? I'm like, well,
I mean,
it escapes me.
My kids are all 21 now, so it's like, whatever. It's literally doesn't.
Go nuts, don't drive.
Yeah, like, and I mean, up until we just moved Millie back down to Orange County, I mean, everyone's living at home,
right?
So,
and our friend group, my kids, your kids, all have the benefit of having, between Will, Dragon, myself, a series of cocktail connoisseurs.
Oh my God.
Like, hey, if we're having a party and you're not 21, that's okay, because you don't have to be, you're not drinking Bud Light and fucking Corona Light or, Schlitz malt liquor. No, we've got these high class mixed beverages.
Well, let's talk about Hurricane Millies, right? I mean,
hey, these punches that fucking Will shows up with, these are high caliber mixed drinks.
Oh my gosh, yes.
If you're gonna get tossed, these are the drinks to be doing it with.
Oh my gosh,
because it's not shit booze. Like, hashtag hi dad.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
what's in a screwdriver?
Will sent Millie to the bathroom for some time
to find
at
herself.
Angie and Mike's house, and she was on her own.
Yeah, we're in a good group to learn to see where your limitations are.
But it was also within parental supervision.
It was controlled,
not going anywhere.
Right.
That kind of thing. So
safe space.
Yeah, and she had a ride, and it was me.
Right.
So I wasn't worried about it.
Yeah.
I mean, that was probably the worst. That was the worst, as far as I know, for Melanie. Drinking wise,
Data's hasn't had.
He's had some chucker nights.
Oh yeah,
there was one night where he had a bunch of friends out back, and he got really hammered to the point to where a couple of his friends had to carry him into the house.
Yeah,
and we're like chilling on. Shannon and I are chilling on the couch, like watching TV, like what the fuck is going on? And they're literally like kind of dragging him through the house to get to his room.
And
then he's throwing up, and we're like, what is happening?
Yeah.
It seemed like they were only out there for like 45 minutes. How can you get that fucked up that quick? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they've both had their thing. Melanie just happened to be at Mike and Angie's house.
Well, we talked with that with Piper too, because when we were talking about how tolerances work, and where she may fall between Venus and I, I had said, what will happen? Venus has her infamous, I can't stand Fritos, chili cheese Fritos anymore because when we were young, on one night, we drank too much. I was coming up commuting and all I had to eat were chili cheese Fritos. That came back up and she absolutely can't stand chili cheese Fritos anymore. That it's a story that will never stop getting repeated, and I accept it because it's my mistake.
Right.
But we were talking about tolerances and whatnot, and she's like, well, where are you at? And I said, typically what happens for me is that my tolerance is at a level that I miss a lot of the buzz. I'll go from like a mild something or to not feel it at all to my body going, there's too much here, and I'll get sick. Oh. And then, and I said, don't let the stigma of I don't want to get sick stop you from your body telling
That's
you.
Some interesting advice.
Yeah. If you need to get sick, don't try and just
go with it.
Just go.
Yeah, let your body get rid of it.
Your body's trying to tell you something.
Right.
You don't earn any extra credit from not getting sick. Especially,
I do.
Well, if you don't, then you don't. But to try and like struggle and fight it, sort of like, I've never seen you that way. You just apparently don't get sick.
Still have not.
Right. My ramping is at such like, if I start to feel it, if I don't consume water, typically I go from, it's like 0 to 60, and then I have a fast recovery if I get sick, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
It's hard. There's no middle for me. It's zip to none. The night, NAB.
Oh yeah.
Right. I didn't get sick.
Right.
But I had barely a fringe of buzz, and I consumed a grotesque amount of AJ #Hey Dave. Thank you so much for a great evening. A ludicrous amount of booze.
I don't think that he was CEO then.
No. It was amazing. Thank you so much. I can't wait to go back.
I think that next day after that party, I was working the booth. Yeah. And I'm pretty sure I was still drunk on the floor of the booth.
Yeah, and, didn't get sick, but we both went to the same room. You crashed. I stayed up reading news.
Oh, my God.
And then I think about an hour and a half.
That motherfucker snoring, goddammit.
I think I got 2 or 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah.
You left. I think I was still sleeping when you left to go back to the show.
Oh, yeah.
Then I got up and walked the floor, and I was fine.
Yeah.
That to me is like the perfect balance. If we'd have probably stayed out another hour or something and not gotten food.
Right. The food, I think, made a big difference.
Probably. Yeah. It'd have probably gone the other way. And then, but.
Well, that night right here in the garage for me with that bottle of Honey Jack or whatever
what was that? Was that a Caw thing? No, it was. We had the big table.
Yeah, we were doing like distance get together thing or something.
Oh, it was a Zoom thing.
Yeah,
and we had a couple of us here.
Yeah. And I drank pretty much almost a whole bottle of.
What was it? Vanilla.
Oh, it was vanilla Jim Beam.
Yeah. That's what it was.
With like Dr. Pepper or something.
Yes, that's what it was.
I mean, almost a whole bottle of that shit that night, and I was pretty hammered, like way more than I thought.
Yeah.
Didn't even have a upset tummy or anything. Never. Didn't even. I don't know. I don't get it.
Shit happens.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let's see. Your 50th, your party here in the back.
Yeah.
You were definitely hammered.
Oh yeah.
But no sick.
No.
Yeah. So you just handle it. Your body does some control that. Well, my body, if I get that to that space, if I don't immediately start consuming water, I would probably just walk around back or walk to a toilet, bomb it out, and then I'd walk back out and I'd be reset.
Yeah. Yeah.
Angie destroys shoes.
And not just her own.
Right. Ted.
Oh, God.
Ted in a bowl and chucking it out an RV window.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Was he drinking that much?
Ted treated his body like a garbage disposal. I don't know.
I don't know where the alcohol even came from.
There were so many different types of wine. I don't remember who brought the Oh, it was oh God, Mike. Not our Mike. It was the Mike. I'm drawing a blank on his ingress name.
I wouldn't remember it.
Yeah. Beard. Hung out with Jim there bad Jim at the tail end.
I don't know.
Anyway, he he worked at Bevmo or something. So he had scraps shit, and Ted's like, "I'll take it." Someone kept cracking bottles, and Ted's like, "Chardonnay."
and Ted's a pretty good sized dude.
What?
So.
Rosé? And, you didn't really notice anything, and they always were handing out the hoodies, and then, we're on the way home on baseline, and Ted's like, "You got a bowl?" I'm like, "I'm in a fucking RV. I got a goddamn kitchen in the back, bro."
Yeah, do you need to cook some soup or something?
We're good. What do you get? And then, the most silent, were you in the RV? Or was that just Toast?
I think I heard about it.
Yeah.
I think I heard about it.
It was just Toast sitting on the sofa in the back, Ted's in the passenger in the front, the window down, with the biggest Tupperware bowl that would fit in an RV.
You know what? I remember I had to go to Ted's house for some reason, and he opened up his trunk, and there was
we were at Mahaney. Oh, you saw
there was the bowl. The bowl that he yacked in was in his trunk.
Solera. Yeah. God damn. And his experience is completely polar from mine. Like I have these huge, deep, boom.
Oh yeah.
And Ted's was like a stealth fighter of contraction. You just heard, and the bowl is full, and he's chucking it out the window. And Toast and I in the back, or no, I'm driving, and Toast in the back is like, "What the fuck just happened?"
I smell something.
Toast is going through drive heaves and shit. And I'm like, I don't even know. It didn't sound like anything happening. Ted just over there going, like breathing heavy into the bowl, and then it goes out the window.
He's like the dude from the Green Mile, and the little bits are the like butterflies.
John Coffey.
Out. Yeah.
What? Are you okay? Or
I'm all right, boss.
Toast had the other way. Toast was.
Oh yeah.
He had my heave sounds. But no projectile.
Yeah, and then he felt better.
And then,
like what? How did that happen? He
stood over a trash can at the back of Mahaney. with you were there, right? Yeah. And Brad Howard.
Yeah.
I don't think Zombie Mike was there.
Nope.
But it was and me. And
the four
he walks over to a trash can in the middle of the kiddie playground. You okay, buddy? It's like, did you make a mess in the trash can? No. What? I feel fine. I'm good.
I feel better now.
Dude.
Nothing came out of you.
You just dry heaved like 4 fucking times so much that the kids over at Mega Aquatics could have heard you.
Oh, my God.
There are feral organisms and creatures in this ravine that are literally scared right now. How much did you fill that trash can? None. What?
Yeah, nothing came out.
Nothing came out. Get the fuck out of here. I feel fine now.
I feel much better.
I feel better.
What the hell?
What just fucking happened?
It's weird how so many people are different,
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if I have this ability to like, oh, I'm cool. The buzz is fine. And then at some point, like, I'm no longer enjoying the buzz anymore.
Oh, okay.
So I'll start shutting down. There are very few occasions that I can think of where I have surpassed that point to where I've gotten pretty fucked up. But even in those instances, never have had to throw up. Never got there. I don't know what it is. I think I end up regulating it well enough. Like I'm done. I'm done with this. I don't like the out of control,
right,
or something,
right.
And then I start to go, yeah, I'm not cool with this anymore.
Right. We did tell her too. Water, drink, have a water. Venus prefaced her with her experiences as a woman. Like a bartender, no one's going to give you shade as a bartender for asking for a water.
Yeah.
It's their responsibility to not let something happen
on their watch.
Yeah. So if you have a drink, have a water. Ask for a water. Hi, could I please get a water? They will oblige you for sure, because no one I can't imagine someone wants that type of responsibility on their hands to then just look the other way.
At the same time, they'll cut you off if they think you're too shitty.
Sure.
So,
Well, you would hope.
I mean, if you're worth your weight in anything.
No one stopped
as a bartender.
No one stopped us in Oakland, and that went south for the fact.
Yeah. That's true.
Get on the pole!
Oh
okay, fuck yeah, here we go.
Yeah, that was a shoe ruining night.
Hey,
There are parts of that night I don't even remember.
There are parts of
that night. I don't know how we got back to the hotel.
And a lot of people don't remember. What's an Uber? The fucking pancakes and chicken.
I remember at one point, being tired of walking, because it felt like we walked around downtown Oakland forever.
Yes.
And I'm like, I'm tired. So I sat down and suddenly everyone was gone. And I'm like, what the fuck?
They left Jimmy.
Yeah, that'll sober you up pretty quick.
Yeah. Fuck, I'm lost.
Yeah.
I don't even know.
We got a big Uber. Did we get a Suburban or something?
Yes. And then we got it back to I think Ted hooked us all up with rooms based off of his points.
Yeah.
It was nice rooms too. Yeah. # thanks, Ted.
I mean, it was only in there for 4.5 hours.
Right. Yeah. Right. Right.
I don't even think we showered that morning. Because we slept right up until checkout time.
Yeah.
And it was
I remember opening up my curtains and seeing you out back, walking around.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, fucking Jim's up early. Oh, here we go.
Well, it was one of those things where it was sleep until you can't, until you need to leave kind of thing. And so
Did Shan go?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Shan and Melanie were both there too. Because they went to that night. While we were doing our stuff, the two of them, Melly and Shan, went to San Francisco and did a bunch of shopping. It was because it was around Christmas time.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. And then remember they came back and met us at the bar there at...
Well, they couldn't. Melly couldn't have.
No, but
Shan did?
They both were there.
Oh, just outside.
They met us there and then hung out for a bit and then left.
Okay.
Yeah. And then we got...
You guys are all drunk. We are done with
pretty much.
Fuck you
That
guys.
was just the beginning. Because wherever that was the square or whatever. Jack London Square.
Yeah. Was that the outside restaurant with the long table?
They were there for that.
That was just when Dragon started challenging Ted.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
This drinking contest. I'm like... It's not going to end well.
No.
Guys,
Ted's literally
6 times
6 times your size. You are one of Ted's legs.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not going to work out.
Oh my gosh. Funny stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
We're at time.
Oh. Dang.
Yeah.
That's a lot of drinking.
I don't think we ever covered Oakland. That's pretty damn expansive.
There's a lot that happened there.
Yeah.
In Oakland in general.
Yeah.
But
that's probably the only stuff we should or could talk about without having
lawyers present.
Yeah, lawyers and other parties actually being here.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, anyway, I'm not going to get into it. I'm not getting into it.
Yeah, no.
I think that probably the best thing we could do right now is tell you to check your oil, Tony.
Wash your ass.
Yeah. Wash your hands.
Wash your face.
Return the cart.
Wear the mask.
Do the kindness.
Get the shot. We'll catch you next week.
Yeah. And thanks for listening.
Thanks, everybody.